If the U.S. government decides to stick a tracking device up your ass, you say thank you. And God bless America.
The American Civil Liberties Union is warning the U.S. public against being bogged down in too much debt. The groups revealed figures showing a rising number of people who fail to pay their debts and fines end up behind bars without a court verdict. The practice is being criticized as unconstitutional, but it's alive and kicking in the state of Ohio, as Marina Portnaya explains.
A Midwestern U.S. state. Internationally recognized for being the battleground where America's next president is decided.
Let's talk about the importance of Ohio.
And in the battle for Ohio,
the state's 18 electoral votes mean so much.
Everybody's paying a lot of attention to Ohio.
Ohio, you're probably going to decide the next president of the United States.
For the past 36 years, no candidate has entered the White House without winning this swing state. While Ohio undoubtedly wields an enormous influence in the arena of U.S. presidential politics, the state is currently garnering headlines for its prisons, specifically the medieval-type punishment being imposed on countless citizens who are drowning in debt. According to a report released by the ACLU of Ohio, thousands of citizens are illegally being locked behind bars because they are too poor to pay their debt.
We saw some really troubling numbers. One case that we looked at out of Mansfield, Ohio, there was a gentleman, his crime against the community was he let his dog walk in his mobile home park without a leash. He was fined $30, and he ended up being found in contempt of court and was sent to jail for not paying for a $30 fine.
I'm hoping what we're doing is going to change that.
55-year-old Jack Dawley was incarcerated 3 times for failing to pay $900 in fines.
Every 90 days you had a jail date. And if you weren't working, well, you're going to jail. I didn't have a problem while I was working paying on my fines. They set me up on a payment program, which was reasonable for me. But upon losing my job, I had no income.
Debt prisons violate the U.S. and Ohio constitutions. According to the ACLU, most of the defendants weren't given hearings before being jailed for outstanding fines.
If the court had taken any time to ask whether or not they could afford to pay, that they would see that these were people who just simply cannot pay. They were individuals who are homeless, many who haven't worked for months, if not years, people who are disabled, people who are taking care of disabled family members. These aren't people who are working and just don't feel like spending the money. These are people who literally have no money.
People like Dante Stiles, who's unemployed and says he often has to choose between feeding his 2 children or paying his fines.
I find myself back and forth in court, back and forth, constantly jail, 10 days here, 15 days here.
And while the cash-strapped citizens are incarcerated in debtors' prisons, their fines keep growing, like credit card interest. It's described as a vicious circle.
It was $737, okay? But after 11 days, when I went back to court, after court costs and paying another public defender, it went up an extra $200.
More than 1.8 million Ohioans reportedly live in poverty, and more than 400,000 are unemployed.
I want to get it behind me.
Dawley lost his job last year after missing work for a 10-day sentence in debtor's prison.
I had just started the job. I was probably there not quite a month. I was expecting a paycheck, so I'd gone in early to get a paycheck so I could go in and pay on my fine. And upon my release, I was terminated from my job.
Dawley has received a $50 credit for each of the 16 days he was illegally imprisoned, but most, like Stiles, have not. And the state revered for predicting America's presidents has garnered a new reputation for how it punishes the poor. Marina Portnaya, RT, Ohio.
You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?